The following audio blog is an reenactment of the Upper House of the Bicameral Parliament of India, from a session regarding the Auroville Foundation Bill of 1988, and is taken from the meeting transcript, which you can download in the description below. Please enjoy this audio conversion, and remember to subscribe and click the notification bell. Let's begin. In answer to the question proposed by the Minister of Human Resource Development, Shri P. Shiv Shankar, begins a statement made by Dr. Najma Heptula of Maharashtra.
Thank you very much, sir. When I stand here to speak in support of the Auroville Foundation Bill, I would like to say that, as the Honourable Minister has stated, the way is long and difficult, but the government has taken appropriate measures in the past, and I am quite sure that in future also, the Government of India will take all precautions to see that this great institution of our country should be furthered in its ideals for which it was established. Sir, the middle of the 19th marks the beginning of the period of an Indian Renaissance. The period begins when great personalities like Raja Ram, Mohan Roy, Dayanand Saraswati, and Sri Aurobindo, who filled India with a new breath and sowed the seeds of not only a new spiritual awakening, but also of social and political awakening. It was at this time that the luminous writings of Sri Aurobindo lighted the path of many in India and abroad. The ideals of one humanity, of oneness in diversity, which gave a new dimension to the synthesis of East and West, and that of the spiritual being. I would like to quote here from the writings of Sri Aurobindo. At present, mankind is undergoing an evolutionary crisis, in which is concealed a choice of its destiny, for a stage has been reached in which the human mind has achieved certain directions, an enormous development, while in others, it stands arrested and bewildered, and can no longer find its way. A total spiritual direction, given to the whole life, and the whole nature, can alone lift humanity beyond itself. What is necessary is that there should be a turn in humanity, felt by some of our many, towards the vision of this change, a feeling of its imperative need. The sense of its possibility will make it possible, in themselves and to find a way. The trend is not absent, and is much increased with the tension of the crisis in human world destiny. Sir, it was at that time that his teachings attracted many a people from India and abroad, and a young lady, a French lady from Paris, called Mira Alfassa, came to India in 1914 to Aurobindo and made India her home. She realized the dream of Aurobindo in the form of the foundation of Auroville. I would like to quote from the mother. There is an ascending evolution in nature which goes from the stone to the plant, from the plant to the animal, from the animal to man. Because man is, for the moment, the last rung at the summit of the ascending evolution, he considers himself as the final stage in this ascension, and believes there can be nothing on earth superior to him. In that he is mistaken. In his physical nature, he is yet almost wholly an animal, a thinking and speaking animal, but still an animal in his material habits and instincts. Undoubtedly, nature cannot be satisfied with such an imperfect result. She endeavors to bring out a being who will be to man what man is to the animal, a being who will remain a man in its external form, and yet whose consciousness will rise far above the mental. With these ideas, this great lady, who made India her home, founded Auroville on the 28th February, 1968. As long as the mother was alive, everything was running smoothly. But as all human beings have to leave this world, she left this world on 17th November, 1973. And then a number of troubles started. Soon after that, immediate attempts were made to establish proprietary rights over Auroville by the management of the Sri Aurobindo Society. In 1974 to 75, attempts at finding a solution did not succeed because of intransigence of the society's management. In 1980, there was an ordinance promulgated for temporary takeover of the management of Auroville for 5 years. This was in November 1980. Again in December 1980. I am trying to give these dates to show what was done during this period about which the Honorable Minister mentioned. That the road is difficult, but the road has been difficult in the past also. The ordinance was replaced by an Act of Parliament. In 1982 November, the Supreme Court gave a judgment upholding the validity of the Act because it was challenged in the Supreme Court by the Sri Aurobindo Society. In August 1985, an amendment bill was introduced before Parliament for extension of the operation of the Auroville Act for a further period of 2 years, up to November 1987. On 28 October 1987, there was promulgation of an amendment ordinance to extend the validity of the Auroville Act for 1 year. In November 1987, an amendment bill was passed to replace the ordinance of 28 October 1987. Again in February 1988, a meeting in Auroville of the various branches of Auroville International took place. And today before us is the Auroville Foundation Bill, which our Minister has placed before us to discuss. Sir, I would also like to quote here from the Charter of Auroville. Auroville belongs to nobody in particular. Auroville belongs to humanity as a whole, but to live in Auroville one must be a willing servitor of the divine consciousness. Auroville will be the place of an unending education, of constant progress, and a youth that never ages. Auroville wants to be the bridge between the past and the future, taking advantage of all discoveries from without and from within. Auroville will boldly spring towards future realization. Auroville will be a site of material and spiritual researches for a living embodiment of an actual human unity. Sir, I would like to put before the House the developments which took place after the government took over. Sir, how much time do I have? 10 minutes.
The Vice Chairman, Sri H. Hanumanthapa responds.
10 minutes over. You have 5 more minutes.
Sri Mirza Irshad Beg of Gujarat replies.
No concession for a lady member.
I can take the time of the opposition.
The Vice Chairman Sri H. Hanumanthapa replies.
No, the opposition will come back at 6 p.m, we have to complete it before that.
Sir, I would like to mention about the developmental activities started after the government took over the management of Auroville and the passing of the bill. Afforestation work on all land of Auroville, more than 1 million trees were planted. Development of farms, orchards, and dairies. Development of many units of production, from handicrafts to computers. Employment given to about 1,500 workers from surrounding villages. In October 1987, more than 2/3 construction of Matrimandir completed. Facilities in Bharat Niwas improved and used at full capacity. The creation of the Sri Aurobindo International Institute for Educational Research, which was established in 1984. Several educational facilities built between 1984 and 1988, and the development of more than 20 educational experimental units. Research in various aspects of value-oriented education. Several seminars, plus follow-up through research papers. There has been publication of a number of books. I have with me some of these books. For example, The Spirit of Indian Culture and The Aim of Life. There is a new publication, which is going to come, titled The Good Teacher and the Good Pupil. These are some of the many publications brought out during this period. Sir, there are many more activities, like coordination and development of village development activities. The creation of a center of scientific research for research in alternate sources of energy. The creation of the Auroville Press. The organization of a national seminar on youth and human unity, of which there is a comprehensive report, which points out as to how the UNESCO and other bodies have appreciated the work done by the Aurobindo Society. Sir, since I do not have much time, I would only like to say that considering the good work done by the mother, considering the good work which has been carried out by the people, who have devoted themselves, regardless of caste, creed, religion, language, color, nationality, who have come from far and near, and who have made India and Auroville their home, the government should make this institution an institution of national importance. In India, there have been 4 stages of synthesis: the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Gita, and the Tantric. Now, we are passing through the 5th stage. In these days of materialism, let us help to build such institutions like Auroville, where spirituality and humanity is above all, and where people from far and near come, of diverse religions, languages, castes, color and creed. Let this institution be a beacon of light for one and all, to achieve divine consciousness for spiritual research, and for a living embodiment of an actual human unity. I recommend that this institution be made an institution of national importance, like Visva Bharati, the Asiatic Society, etc. Sir, I have also given notice of an amendment, seeking to add at page 2, after line 16, the following. Whereas the objects of Auroville are such as to make it one of national importance, it is hereby declared that Auroville is an institution of national importance. Thank you.
This concludes our video today, part 2 of the Rajya Sabha session regarding the Auroville Foundation Bill. For more information and a downloadable transcript, follow the links in the description below. Thank you for stopping by, and please remember to subscribe on your way out.